Hey guys, it's Kevin again, and this is going to be my review for Continuum, Season 3, Episode 1, Minute by Minute. Now, let me just say something. Continuum was always a show that I was really interested in, but I never actually watched it. This was the very first time that I watched the show, and I decided I'd check it out because it's on Friday nights. I have nothing to watch on Friday nights, and I figured why not, and I ended up loving this premiere. I love where they're going with this show. I think this is going to be a really good season. And I'm really looking forward to seeing more of this because I've definitely really enjoyed it. It was really good. And let's just get to it because I'm really interested in seeing what's going to happen from here. So let's get to it. So I guess at the end of Season 2, you know, again, as I said, I wasn't as familiar with the show, but that recap that they did in the beginning of the episode really helped a lot. The recap was like 3 or 4 minutes long, so that definitely was a very good recap, and that was definitely very well done. And that was definitely a good idea for those people who haven't seen the show, like me, who haven't seen the show yet. I definitely think that was a great thing to do. But basically, the Season 2 premiere ended with Alec taking the time travel device to either go to the future or the past to save Emily. We also saw the time travelers, all of the Liber 8 members, and Kiera kidnapped by the Freelancers and locked in glass boxes. So basically, we pick up this episode with Alec going back in time as an attempt to save Emily, but as he starts to disappear into the past, the Freelancers shoot at him. The bullet graces his temple, but it works. Alex is the past 1 week earlier, to be precise. But as this, is this going on, Kiera, we're interspliced by Kiera to what happened to Kiera after Alex went back. You see Kiera being drugged and dragged through a dingy corridor like we saw, like the Season 2 premiere. And Kiera is placed in a glass cell and sees a captured Garza and Jason. And when one of the Freelancers emerge, Kiera is shocked to see... Kiera is shocked to see that one of them is Curtis Chen. And she wonders how he can be alive considering she shot him. And he interrogates Kiera, asking about Alec and what his plans are by going to the past. And when Kiera tells what she knows, she's soon brought to Catherine, whom... Kiera dubs the head freelancer, and Catherine explains to Kiera that when she went back in time, this led to criminals in 2077 to use time travel to change history. So a law was created to stop this, and part of this is a man who went back and 1,000 years in time to start an organization called the Freelancers, and that is all about restoring the timeline, and Kiera calls them a cult. And Catherine explains that with two Alex Sadlers now in the past, this has disrupted the timeline. And because of that, that Alex Sadler of 2077 and also the innovations that he created will no longer exist. Also that they aren't from the future. The Freelancers need her help when they need her help. So while that's going on, Alex makes his way towards the lab. He takes the time travel device apart, buries it in a park. And when he arrives to his lab, he sees it from a distance, Emily, and is pleased to see that she's alive. However, Alec realizes that he's in big trouble when whom he sees his past self emerge from the lab. Before he can make a hasty escape, he is confronted by Jason. And, of course, Jason's asking who he is. He has no idea who Alec is, and Alec states that he's his father, and this shocks Jason, but after Alec explains that he's from the future, and one of his plans involves stopping Escher from using a time travel device, Jason's on board helping this version of his dad. That's what he decides to do. He decides to help him out. And when they get into Alec's lab, Alec takes a piece of the time travel piece that is in there and asks Jason to grab the suit so that it can't be used by Travis. And Kellogg arrives and thinks he's talking to his timelines, Alex, but future Alec talks to Kellogg with all the knowledge that he possesses about what Kellogg is going to do, and even calls on him the deal he made with Sonja and Travis. And Kellogg is shocked at this Alex's new attitude. Kiera doesn't want to help. We see then that Kiera does not want to help the Freelancers. She's taken back to her cell, and on her way, Kiera sees Garza come up the stairwell. The two ladies give each other a look, and all of a sudden, the two are working together to take down their Freelancer guards. They take their clothes and make their way through the labyrinth corridors for escape while avoiding droids and Freelancers. And Garza tells Kiera some military tactics that they once used in their time at the military. The two ladies try to use it, the ladies hide, but Garza decides to act as a distraction, but is shot and killed. Which is really sad. However, Kiera escapes and manages to make it to a hole in the building. They are held captive. and you're not really quite sure if they're in a dam, but before Kiera can escape, Curtis does capture her, but around them we see a storm brewing and destruction and chaos abound in downtown Vancouver. And again, while this is happening, Alec and Jason leave. Alec is surprised by Emily, who thinks she's talking to her Alec, and what we mean by her Alec is, in the future, her and in her timeline, her and Alec are together. So, future Alec is surprised to see her, but gives her a passionate kiss that prompts Jason to leave them alone, because obviously she has no idea who that is, so he wants him to leave. And at a cafe, future Alec agrees with Emily's plan with past Alec to go to Thailand, and Emily's happy that Alec wants to leave with her, but is afraid he will change his mind once she tells him the truth about himself. But future Alec assures Emily that nothing will change his feelings for her, and Alec leaves Emily to take of something, and that is him going to the VPD to tell that timeline's Kiera and Carlos where Lucas is. So yeah, that's what's going on there. So then we see when Kiera's brought back to Catherine, she tells Kiera that their timeline is about to be destroyed because there are two Alex Sadlers, and they need Kiera to go back and fix things. To go back, and Kiera needs to sit in some sort of dentist chair that gets surrounded by some cynical cage. And before leaving, Catherine gives Kiera's CPS suit some sort of upgrade and warns her to not encounter her other self. And then back to the present, we see a conversation that Kellogg and Escher had in the season 2 finale, that art gallery. And the conversation is a bit different, but there's still talk of time travel and antimatter. The difference is after Kellogg leaves, someone shoots and kills Escher with a silence gun. We later see the shooter was Emily. By the way, while Catherine and Kiera are having that conversation, we see this other scene where we see Kiera, in Alec's timeline, and this Kiera is worried about Alec's behavior, but Alec manages to explain it away by the way Alec explains the wound on his temple as a bump on the head that caused some memory loss. That will explain any erratic symptoms between himself and past self. We then see a takedown of Lucas and Kiera finding the time travel device. So then Kiera finally arrives in the present, and at this point, instead of, to protect Garza, she lets Garza go, and gets the feisty Liber 8 member to trust her by recounting the same military story. So Garza escapes, and when Kiera meets up with Catherine, she proves that she was sent by her from another timeline by showing her that she is now Freelancer. And one thing that Kiera gets Catherine to promise is not to pin Agent Gardner's murder on her. And then we see, just to end the episode, and I really like the way they end it, it's a really great ending. We see Alec back at his lab, getting his passport and some money in anticipation of his trip, and Alec is stopped. He notices Kiera on the floor dead with bullet holes drilled in his body. He's crying. He's like, no, Kiera, and he's crying. It's honestly, really sad, because he thinks she died. But Alec doesn't have too long to mourn, because then the actual Kiera, the one that was sent to, back in time, emerges behind him, and all they do is just stare at each other. He does not know, what to do at this point. He doesn't know. He's very surprised. He's like, what's going on here? He doesn't really know. So, that was basically the episode, and it was a really interesting episode. What I really like about the show is that now we have two Alex, but we also have two Kieras now, so it's definitely going to be very interesting to see what happens there. The biggest thing is Alec seems to have stepped in it when he tried to, save. Is Emily really worth it? Should he be with Emily? Is she really worth it? Also, with Escher now dying in this manner, what does that do in the timeline? It seems like the Season 3 story is going to be Kiera deciding which Alec she wants to choose, because there are two Alecs, so which one she wants to choose is ultimately the one that's going to come back with her and fix this whole timeline thing. What is she going to do there? We really don't know. But also the thing I'm very interested in is Emily. Now that she actually shot Escher. So what's gonna happen to Emily? Is she gonna be pinned for this? Are they gonna find out that she shot the Escher? What's gonna happen there? The one thing I am a little bit worried about this show though is that it can get a bit confusing. I hope it doesn't get too confusing, but overall I did really enjoy this show. I will continue to watch it. I will continue to review it to you guys. I like where it's going. I like where they're going with a lot of the storylines. I think it's going to be a really, really good show. Overall, I'm really looking forward to it. What else is there to say? Is there anything else I want to say? I like the characters. I really like the performances on the show. I think the one that plays Kiera is really strong. The one that plays Alec is really strong. All the people on the show are definitely very, very strong characters, and I'm really looking forward to seeing where a lot of their characters go. But that's it for my review. I hope you enjoy it, and I will see you guys in my next video, which will be my review for tonight's episode of Once Upon a Time and Game of Thrones. So, especially, I can't wait for Game of Thrones, and I'll see you guys for that review. Bye!